Let's bring in Christoph Mannix, Sports Illustrated NBA senior writer. Let me start with the tragic story of what happened with Kyrie stepping on the Celtics logo. As a former ball boy at the Garden, how do you feel? Are you okay to talk today about what happened?
It took me 24 hours to really get comfortable expressing my feelings, but yes, I'm ready to talk, Dan.
Is there etiquette with this? Like, did he do something that's egregious here? He's never going to be forgiven. I mean, the Celtic fans don't like him anyway, but... Well,
yeah, look, stepping on the logo and the way Kyrie did, you can certainly say it's disrespectful. I mean, Kevin Garnett obviously took umbrage with it, and we've seen stuff like this in the past with Terrell Owens on the Star in Dallas and things like that. But I mean, it certainly doesn't warrant. You can't compare getting a bottle thrown at you, whether it's a water bottle, whatever, tossed at you as some kind of equivalent there. But it's Kyrie. The anger Boston fans feel towards Kyrie is not different than the anger Oklahoma City fans felt towards Kevin Durant, or Cleveland fans back in 2010 felt towards LeBron James. Like, he left. They were, he said he was going to stay. They believed he was going to be part of something big there, and he left. So they're mad. Like, it's really not all that complicated when it comes to Kyrie Irving.
I haven't heard much from the commissioner about these fan incidents here, but you're really wide open here. When we think of NBA players, you can sit right next to a player on the bench. You can reach out and touch that player. Mm-hmm. There's no other sport that's like this. So what options does the NBA have in trying to curb this?
Well, you've seen already in the last couple of days more enhanced security in these arenas. And maybe as things go forward, if this doesn't stop, you'll see even more security, whether it's presences from security guards that are more visible on the floor, or some kind of taping of some kind, or a blockade of some kind for the fans sitting courtside. But I think when I talk to people within the NBA about this, they're still trying to formulate strategies beyond just the enhanced security that they've already implemented. I think what the NBA is hoping, and this isn't really within their purview, but that the punishments that are doled out by authorities dissuade this type of behavior. Now, I do think charging the fan in Boston with assault and battery, a felony, is a little bit much, but I think some kind of legal repercussions where people that do stuff like this have to either pay a substantial fine, community service, something that comes with some teeth to it. Because Dan, banning a guy from an arena doesn't really work. No. I mean, it's not like you're going to have this guy's picture like on a proverbial milk carton in the arena. Like, he can still come in and out. I think there's the hope that punishments with more teeth will dissuade this type of behavior.
Do you know what the alcohol policy is at NBA games? Like, a lot of baseball games will say seventh inning, they stop. Yeah, I mean, alcohol is playing a role in this.
Yeah. I believe, I don't know if it's universal, but most venues, most arenas I've gone to, is that end of the third quarter, you can't serve beer after that. So it's almost like baseball, where they recognize the end is coming, and over the last 30 minutes of the game, you're not allowed to go buy, which of course sends people running to the vendors to buy 6 at a time and go back to their seats that way. So it's not a perfect solution, but that's what most arenas I've been around go with.
I applaud Doc Rivers for standing up to those who doubt Ben Simmons, but Ben Simmons has not gotten better. There's a ceiling with Ben Simmons, and while I understand what Doc is doing, Ben Simmons is not a great player. And maybe it's not his fault, it's our fault, because we thought he was going to be the next Magic Johnson. Where do you stand on Ben Simmons? And is he a good player? Is he a very good player? Is he a great player?
I go very good. Great is usually reserved for the MVP candidates, at least every single year. And I agree with you. I think Ben Simmons has a ceiling, especially offensively. I think what he does great is better than the top 1% of the NBA. Defensively, he's in the top 1%. Running a fast break, he's in the top 1%. But over the years, and we're now at that kind of mid-20s point of Ben Simmons' career where you'd expect to see some growth in certain areas, you're not really seeing it. You're not seeing it at the free throw line. You're not seeing it from three-point range. He's still not comfortable pulling up from really anywhere outside the paint. So I'm not expecting at this stage of Ben Simmons' career for that to substantially improve as it goes forward. I still think he can be a key cog on a championship team because that defense and that uniqueness to him playing the point guard position is incredibly valuable. But I think we're past the point, Dan, where we're waiting for Ben Simmons to reach that next level. I don't think that next level is going to come. He can still be great or still be really good, but I don't think that next level for Ben Simmons is going to be there.
Brook Lopez didn't hit a three for 7 years in the NBA. Then he became a good three-point shooter. Like, this can happen. And it's not that Ben's form is bad on his jumper. He doesn't bend at the free throw line. Like, it's very stiff. It just feels like, it's confidence. Lonzo Ball the same way. Like, you get to the point where now you're comfortable with this. But, I even said to Reggie Miller, Ben should reach out to you. You could help him from the line. You could help him from three-point range. But I don't know I don't know what Ben wants to be, and so that's when Doc says this, I'm like, okay, Doc, he's like, he's great. We don't see greatness with Ben Simmons because what's he do? He guards somebody, he'll have a pass on a fast break, and he'll rebound. Okay, there's nothing great there where you go, oh my God, did you see Ben Simmons? When's the last time you said, do you see Ben Simmons last night? Doesn't happen.
Well, I mean, I have done that. I mean, when Ben has these great games where he puts up like 20, 15, and 15, like those are great performances. They're not empty stats. He's doing it, but there still comes the time in the fourth quarter where you're worried about him getting hacked and sent to the free throw line. Yeah. You're worried about teams scheming to leave him alone on the perimeter, knowing he's a non-threat. It's tough to play 4-on-5 offensively at the championship level. So that's what's going to stop Ben Simmons from getting to that next level.
He's Chris Mannix, Sports Illustrated NBA senior writer. How concerned should the Lakers be?
I think you're very concerned. Obviously the Davis injury is pretty scary considering, he's going to be out most likely for Game 5, and with this series moving quickly, you don't know if Game 6 he's going to be available either. And they were a very average team without Davis during the regular season. 19-17 was the record. And on top of that, in this series, he's been largely their front court production. I mean, Andre Drummond, who was brought in for this reason to match up with a DeAndre Ayton, has been getting completely outplayed by Ayton. It wouldn't surprise me to see Marc Gasol in the starting lineup in this Game 5. I think Gasol has proven to be a better fit with this team offensively, at least in this particular series. So if you're the Lakers, it can't just be a superhuman LeBron performance. It's got to be Marc Gasol shooting a high percentage. It's got to be Kyle Kuzma having a breakout offensive game. What I saw from Chris Paul suggests to me that shoulder is getting better. And if he can get to be 75, 80% of what he usually is, there's enough weapons on that Phoenix team at home to beat the Lakers in Game 5 and to win this series.
Are you picking the Suns?
Yes. This is going to bite me again because every time I go against LeBron, I lose. So take that for what it's worth. You put me on. I didn't even think about who I was picking until that exact moment, but this is eventually going to make me look stupid. So yes.
Yeah. You're aware that LeBron's on the Lakers, right?
I am.
Okay.
Yes.
Just want to make sure because this hasn't gone well in the last 12 years. It feels like you go against LeBron. You're like Paul Pierce. You don't like LeBron.
I do like LeBron. I just, for some reason, I sort of convinced myself that other teams can beat him. I was doing that with, I think I did that with Atlanta at one point, during LeBron's tenure, which was incredibly stupid in hindsight. But Boston, several times over. On your show, I think I said it was more likely than not that the Lakers don't make the playoffs, which a clip that I was made to eat over and over again on social media for almost 2 years. But
why don't you go with LeBron?
Well, I did. Going into the playoffs with the Lakers at full strength, I picked the Lakers to win the whole thing. Okay. I did. I thought, but the AD injury is significant. Like, going without him against this team is going to be really tough. So we'll see what LeBron can pull out. Like, invariably he does it, right? Invariably he does something superhuman that makes people like me look stupid. But this is a tough matchup for that Laker team without AD.
What kind of fallout do you think that the Lakers will have if they don't get out of the first round?
Given the circumstances, probably not much.
But do they keep Dennis Schroeder? Do they get rid of Kyle Kuzma? Marc Gasol's probably a one and done. Do they keep Andre?
He's got a 2-year contract. Gasol's got a 2-year contract, so he's around.
I don't want him another year.
I think you kind of stuck with him, though. I don't know what you just wave him and eat the salad. I honestly, and this goes back to a conversation about several teams that are facing questions, whether it's Boston or Miami or whatever. This season's been so weird with COVID issues, 4 games in 5 nights, myriad injuries. The Lakers have been at the forefront of it. I don't think you overreact to the end result of this season. If they get beat in the first round by Phoenix, there are reasons for it, right? You lost Anthony Davis. You had a bunch of injuries that affected your chemistry. Andre Drummond came in late. You can explain a lot of that away. I think it would be a mistake to just blow up the Lakers. You may have a tough decision to make on Dennis Schroeder. I mean, he clearly wants to get $20, $25 million per year on a new contract. So maybe that's a tough call, but this is still a Laker team, Dan, that when fully healthy, I would favor them going into next year. I would consider them a favorite going into next year.
Who do you like with the Clippers and Mavs now?
I dogged the Clippers pretty bad after game 2 because I didn't think they had the mental toughness to do what they did over the last couple of games. And we banged on playoff P, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, for kind of not showing up against Luka Doncic. They showed up in these last couple of games, and again, circumstances affect kind of what you project the series to be. Luka's injured. He looked hurt in that last couple of games. Now, there's been reports that he's feeling better going into this game 5, but if he's anything but 100%, I think the Clippers have done enough to get back in this series. It's remarkable. It really is. I thought this team was done. I thought they would lose at most in 5 games, maybe even get swept. But the mental toughness this Clipper team showed, Ty Lue, the adjustments he made in defending Luka Doncic, it really is an impressive turnaround by the Clippers.
Great to talk to you again, Chris. Thank you. We appreciate your time as always.
It's got to be like Lakers at 6. So
I know.
Right,
I know.
Okay.
I know. Keep your head up.
All right.